Martine's show tonight, the Hollywood star voted the sexiest woman in the world, Jennifer Lopez. Then there's a man voted the sexiest old geezer on Radio 2 after Jimmy Young, and he is Terry Wogan. Also, one of the most successful pop groups around, the Corrs. But first, the young woman whose career reads soap star, pop diva, stage sensation, or EastEnders' #1 hit single, My Fair Lady. Welcome, please, Martine McCutcheon. Looking fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
And trim.
Oh, thank you. It's hard work.
What is?
Keeping trim.
Keeping trim.
Yeah.
I imagine it is.
It is.
Let's talk about My Fair Lady now, because...
Especially when your mum's got 34 double D boobs.
That's your mum or mine?
Yeah,
Yours.
my mum. I don't know your mum's side boob.
Has she?
Yeah.
That's an interesting
Very
thought.
big.
Really?
Yes.
How old is your mum?
44.
What's she doing after the show?
She's meeting you. Obviously.
She's coming upstairs for a drink, is she?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, good. I'll meet your mum. She sounds fascinating. We'll talk about your mum later, because she's... Because in the terms
Good
of...
start.
No, because of my research, I've had to find out a bit about your mum and your relationship. I mean, she's played a big part in your life.
She has, she
Absolutely.
has.
But first of all, let's talk about the My Fair Lady thing, first of all, because there you are, you went into it. They said you couldn't do it. You did. You were marvellous. I saw you twice in it. You're wonderful. But now you're out of it because of ill health. Exactly what's wrong? What's the matter?
OK, the main problem was that I got very, very ill at the beginning of the run. And for the whole time that I was on stage afterwards, I was constantly on steroids, and it got to the point where the doctors were saying, look, you can't sing unless we give you steroids. And I just didn't want to be on steroids the whole time that I was doing the show. And the voice just kept disappearing on me. You know, it was a major role for me to take on, and it was a big ambition fulfilled. It's been my ultimate dream to play Eliza, and I did it to great reviews, but you know, from going from soap and then, you know, being a recording artist and then doing live stage every night, 6 shows a week. It was originally 8 and then we made it 6. To sing 6 songs every night live. You know, 1 minute you're hitting higher soprano notes, the next minute you're screaming and shouting like a cockney, and it just all takes its toll on the voice. And I think the initial illness was a big part of that. But now I'm fine, it's just the voice is a bit croaky.
But how bad was it at times, about the voice?
The voice, I mean, well, the last time, put it this way, the last time I sang on stage, I went to hit the big note and nothing came out, and that was my worst fear. I just went, I can do bloody well with... like that. Not very nice, is it? No. And the front row were like, is she supposed to sing that like that? And I was just, I was in bits. I mean, I was a nervous wreck afterwards, and there were times that I was clashing on in the wings to anything I could, just saying I can't go on. Someone just pushed me on, and they'd push me on, and I just felt bad because, you know, there were so many fans that were saying, oh, we didn't see you in that one performance, or we didn't see you when you was off and you were ill, and I felt so terrible, and I felt like I wanted to carry on, and, you know, it was just, I'm quite a stubborn, determined person. And I'm quite feisty, and when something gets the better of me, it drives me nuts, but I had no control over it.
Have they discovered what's wrong? What the particular problem is?
I think it's just that my voice is knackered.
It's just, just wear and tear.
I wish I could say there was some fantastic medical, you know, term for it, but it's just knackered, it's tired. And enough was enough for doing that amount of shows, and I didn't want to go on and just bluff my way through it every night, never knowing if I could deliver 100% or not. And a lot of people that are watching now that are in the whole theatre game will probably think, well, you can't make magic every night, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to give the audience magic. I wanted to feel like I'd given magic when I took, you know, my bow at the end, and we got the standing ovations every night. And it wasn't fair on the cast either. They were so wonderful to me.
But, well, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, what's their attitude been to you, taking the time off during the run and now leaving? Are they cross with you?
There were a couple of people that wasn't as supportive as they should have been, without naming any names. But most of them have been amazing. Most of them have been fabulous, and in fact, all of them apart from one person. But I'm not going to name any names.
Go on.
No.
Go on.
No.
Nobody's listening. Just me and your mum.
Oh, yeah, right. But most of them have been great, and they've been good friends. They've been good friends, and they've been phoning me saying, you know, are you well? And
I mean, only you knows the answer to this question. It's one you've obviously asked yourself. You're content in your own mind that you did everything you could.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Anybody who was hanging around me at that time, any of my friends, family, knew that Martine was a wreck, was a complete wreck, and it has knocked my confidence a lot. even now.
In what sense?
Because I always thought mind over matter would get you through anything. I always thought that determination and willpower would get you through anything. And I realised for the first time there are some things that you can't control and you can't always win. And life's about going, OK, well, I triumphed over that, but I didn't triumph over that, you know.
Your story, in fact, is very much like Eliza Doolittle, isn't it?
Yeah.
You came from the buildings. I mean, the nice thing about your performance was that you weren't an actor speaking posh. You had to learn to speak Cockney. I mean, that was normal for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was. No, I just I was the, as Trevor Nunn says, the definitive Eliza, and it was nice because when I was on stage every night, you could feel the audience thinking, "Is she going to do it? Is she going to manage to say it?" You know, yes. And I think, "Oh God, please let the accent come out, otherwise I'm going to completely ruin it for everyone." but no, it was a genuine journey every night, taking the public, you know, from the beginning to the end when she's, you know, a lady and she does give Higgins. Good.
But what about the home life? Because it wasn't all peaches and cream, was it? Because you had an abusive father.
Yeah.
How bad was it?
It was bad for me to see, but obviously it was worse for my mum.
Was the anger directed at your mother more?
Yes,
yeah. Not you, but...
Yeah, my dad was never really that interested in me. He was obsessed with my mum, you know, had a very unhealthy obsession with her. And... don't know how to put it, except for that he was a bit of a Looney Tune, really. and he'd drink too much, and whenever he did, there was violence at home. And she tried the best she could for us to get away from him, and we moved everywhere to try and get away from him, but he'd always end up finding us. And as a result, that's why people are like, oh, you know, she always mentions her mum, and that's all she talks about. But we are so close, because without her, I wouldn't be here. And she really tried her best to protect me, and I've come out pretty good considering the beginning of things, really.
Yes. How bad was it? What were the worst times?
The worst times, well, my first memory of him was him hanging me over a balcony by my feet.
How old were you then?
I was about 3 years old.
Why did he do that?
Because he wasn't getting a reaction out of my mum that he wanted. And she was terrified, and the police were called, and it was all a bit of a nightmare, really. And it was all about getting a reaction from her, him getting what he wanted from her. And because he knew that, you know, I was her pride and joy and she loved me so much, he knew the way to hurt her was through me. And so, you know, that was my first memory of him. But lots of worse things happened, but I wouldn't want to talk about it on TV.
No, of course, I understand. You're doing work for Refuge, aren't you?
Yeah.
Are you actively involved in doing that?
No, you know, not all the time, but whenever I can do something.
It's an organisation that looks after battered women.
Yeah, they do, and they give them a safe place to go and a place where they can talk. And a lot of women feel responsible. They feel like it's their fault when they get hit, and they feel like they're in some way guilty. They feel guilty for what's happened. They feel like they're responsible, and it's something that you have to get away from sooner rather than later, because it's very rare that those people change. They're normally unwell. It's something that they're unwell to keep hitting a woman. You've got to be unwell.
I would agree, of course, and a sane person would. What's the effect it's had on you and your attitude toward relationships? It must make you cautious.
Yeah, it does make you cautious. It definitely, in a way, it's made me stronger. In a way, it's been a blessing in disguise, because I know what I won't stand for. I know what a lot of women of my age consider normal. That kind of thing is normal, especially in the East End, especially, you know, in tougher areas. I get letters all the time and they think that it's a norm, so I'm kind of lucky that I know that that's not right.
Yes.
And I'm also, it's made me more determined to succeed. It's made me realise that that's not what I want, and I'm going to go for this, and anything is achievable. And it's made me kind of more dependent on men in the way that I expect a lot more from them than I would if that sort of thing hadn't happened to me.
Because you're aware of the possibilities of what can go wrong.
Yeah, and I just want them to make me feel safe. So I want them to be my best friend, I want them to be my lover, I want them to be a father figure, I want them to be so many things.
Yes.
So God help them when I meet them.
You've not found that person yet?
No, I've had fun trying though.
And continue fun, no doubt. Your dad came back in your life, didn't he?
Oh, of course he did.
Yeah.
Stories in the Sunday papers, just, you know, she doesn't want anything to do with me, and we're like, yeah, well, I wonder why. I wonder why. And her mother brainwashed her against me, and I'm like, I was there, I saw it all, you know. You're a bad, bad man, give it up.
Yeah. What about, you had all these ambitions when you were a kid of being a star.
Yeah.
What about when it happened? Was it as you imagined, or
no,
has it been?
Of course not.
No?
Of course not, no. I don't think it ever is. I mean, you look at things through rose-tinted glasses when you're a kid, and obviously it's a whole naive view of fame. And you realise it's hard work. It's hard to get there. It's hard to stay there. Out front, it's always glamorous and it looks fantastic. But backstage, it's, you know, there's times that, you know, if you care about it enough, you know, you feel like... I mean, I know that I feel like my heart's being ripped out at the moment because I can't sing. And now, you know, here I am, you know, looking zhuzhy and talking to you, and everyone thinks, oh, you know, she's got it made, everything's great. But, you know, behind the scenes, you know, it's all hard work. But I'm not complaining because I wouldn't do anything else. And, you know, everybody has this story. All stars have that story, don't they? That tragic story. You know, oh, you know, I came from nothing and I became something.
Oh, it's a good story.
Against the odds, you know. Yeah, no, it's inspiring. It's inspiring. I think George Michael wrote a song about it, Star People or something, saying, you know, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, that kind of thing. But it is nice because it just goes to show you can achieve things.
That's absolutely right. So what's the ambition now then, after you've rested up and the voice has got better? I mean, what are you going to do?
That's the first thing. I'm going to rest up.
Right. How long will that take you? Have you got any idea?
I've got no idea, but hopefully a couple of months out will just do me good. I wanted to sing tonight, but I can't.
Well, we wanted you to sing tonight.
I know, and I can't because of this thing. It's driving me nuts. But can I come back?
You can come back any time you want on the show,
providing
you bring your mum.
Okay. Done deal. But no, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to work on 2 albums. One's all original material, the other one's going to be the whole musical thing, which I'm glad I didn't do this year because everybody's releasing a musical thing this year. And so I'm going to wait and do that next year. And then I'm going to do possibly a film. Are you? Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, is that your ultimate ambition?
Yeah.
Like Miss Lopez, to be, you know, both the
she's an inspiration. And I love it. I love the versatility, you know, because I get bored very quickly. So I like to go on and do different things. So eventually film would be great, to be a mum. I'd love to be a great mum.
Ah.
And obviously get married and do everything correctly before.
Yeah.
And
but I mean, are there any contenders? I mean, is there any chat?
There's a few.
Are there?
There's a few that I'm going to let wine and dine me, and I'm going to see who comes up trumps.
You're into that? Is that very romantic thing? Wine and dining?
I am a real old romantic, and my last boyfriend, I thought that would go because my last boyfriend, it broke my heart that we split up. And you know, it's like, I'll never love anyone again, and I'm never going to fancy anyone ever again. And then kind of, I don't know, 2 months later, you're like, oh, he's nice. So.
But 25, you've got bags of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, even think about it. Have a play the field for a while.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Why not? And the thing is that if I don't, the papers always say I do anyway. Well, so I'm missing out on all this fun. I might as well be a naughty girl rather than a good girl.
Well, that's the other thing we're not talking about, but that must be sort of I mean, being famous in any case, you attract this kind of attention. But being a woman and beautiful and famous, you get an inordinate amount of attention you can do without.
I'm marrying everyone.
Yeah.
I'm marrying everyone. It'll be you next.
Well,
or you'll be my dad next.
There was once a story too about you and Mr. Michael Douglas, wasn't there?
Yeah, I know. That's all rubbish.
Was it rubbish?
Yeah, I mean, he was gorgeous and he was lovely, but I never really fancied him. But he took me out for dinner a couple of times with mutual friends. And we actually never went out on our own. And we, you know, we were going to sort of spend some time together anyway, but not like that.
I only asked you that question because I'd hoped that you did like the older man.
Oh, I do.
You do.
I do, very much indeed.
It's been a real delight talking to you. It really has, and it's just a bonus. You've got a gorgeous mum as well, Martine McCutcheon.
Thank you.
Right, a bit of music now, and one of the most popular and attractive groups in the entire music scene. They've just issued a new album of their hits. Here's singing one of them, What Can I Do? Welcome, please, the Corrs.
make you feel this? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What can I do to get you there? No more waiting, no more aching, no more fighting, no more trying. Maybe there's nothing more to say. And in a funny way I'm caught, because the power is not mine. I'm just gonna let it fly. What can I do to make you love me? To make you love me. What can I do to make you care? To make you care. What can I say to make you feel this? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What can I do to get you there? Just tell me what to do. What can I do to make you love me? Love, yeah, yeah. What can I do to make you care? What will I change to make you feel this? To make you love me. What can I do to get you there? Love me. Love me. Love me. Love me. Love me. Thank you, Corrs. Thank you. Thank you.
The marvellous Corrs. My next guest is something of an institution. Some say he belongs in one. Mind you, if he was taken from us, 7 million people each morning wouldn't know what to do. In a lifetime of broadcasting, and sometimes it seems longer than that, he's achieved much, including being the only man I know to be banned from Norway and my pub. Ladies and gentlemen, Terry Wogan. Among your many achievements, you in fact are responsible for this young girl's singing career, aren't you?
Yes, she owes it all to me.
She does.
Really?
That's why it's such a shock. When she promised me her mother earlier on. And now it turns out you're sticking your nose in.
I promise that to everyone. I'm
this is-
terrible.
That's how you get on.
I'm really angry, yeah. That's how I get on.
Well, I mean, lots of congratulations on the radio too. I mean, the station of the moment, of the world, of the universe,
Yet
indeed.
the finest station of its kind in human history.
Absolutely. And you are directly responsible.
I am solely responsible.
Now, bring us up to date then with your listeners, with the togs.
Well, there's so much to do with so little time, Michael, now remaining for you or I.
This is true. Togs,
You should have gone several years ago, you know.
Sometimes I feel that way.
Well, it's just the old geezers, you know. I mean, you know you're a tog with the various signs. Yes. Like, you know, when finding your glasses is more important than sex. Or when your wife says, let's run upstairs and make love, and you say, you can have one or the other. But sex is not always cracked up. Some time ago, there was a long list provided by somebody why chocolate is better than sex.
Yes.
You don't have to beg for chocolate. But I mean, you know, people like you and me. Not for you, Martine, because
no.
sex is terribly important to you.
Yes,
I
it
know
is,
that.
yes.
And I like you for it.
Thank you.
And indeed to your mother, I hope.
My poor mum. She's never going to
She
hear the
won't,
end
no.
of this, is she?
She won't. But to kind of put it in proportion, I heard a rather touching story about this sheet metal worker who was involved in a terrible accident. And indeed, off came a blade and took away his gender.
Good God.
And so, of course, he had to be taken off to hospital. But his workmates rallied round and put the member in dry ice and put it in the ambulance and rushed off to the hospital. Unfortunately, when I got there, the doctor could do nothing. Right. But he said to him, look, he said, don't worry. He said, prosthetics. He said, new technology. We can replace it, he said. We can give you an artificial member. He said, the only thing is it's going to cost you £2,000. I tell you what, he said, talk it over with your wife. I'll come back tomorrow morning on my rounds. And I said, I'll ask you what you've decided. He came back the following morning. He said, did you talk it over with your wife? He said, yes, I did. He said, well, he said, we're getting a new kitchen.
You had not just chosen haphazardly to be on the show tonight, of course. You were chosen specifically because, I mean, they're two most beautiful women in the world on the show tonight. We needed a man who could handle that situation, so to speak.
You need a... Quiet.
Oh,
You
can I
need-
just do this? Sorry.
Yes, I wish you would.
Can I
Try
go?
it. Sorry, I'm old, but not completely decrepit.
Yes, you're chosen for your knowledge of the opposite sex.
I am, yes. No, I'm not. I'm chosen. I'm chosen because you were afraid.
You think so?
Yeah. Two very glamorous women.
Yeah.
You didn't want to be here on your own with them because basically you're afraid of women.
You're nuts. You must be nuts.
Why?
Well, don't you want us to yourself?
Well, I'd like to hear his theory first of all.
Okay.
Well, basically, Michael and I had much the same kind of upbringing,
Yeah.
and we both married Irish women.
We did.
And neither of us had sisters. No. We were mother's boys.
We were both virgins when we got married.
Exactly. We put, and still are.
What's the matter? What are you that old-fashioned look for?
Honestly.
No.
But we put women on a pedestal.
We do.
And that's why he has me here. He has me here because he wants to huddle together for warmth.
Beds in the wood.
Right, okay.
You don't
I'll
buy
take your
that,
word
do
for
you?
it. No,
No.
not at all.
But no, he's...
You're a hard woman, aren't you?
I'm not.
And yet I like you. There's something about her.
There's something
I don't
very,
know what
very
it is.
appealing about
There
it.
is,
There
yeah.
is. I mean, it's not...
No, I like her as a person.
Oh, as a person?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Not to look at. I'm a dog to look at.
Well, exactly.
As a person.
I was just thinking of looking at the Corrs. Isn't it extraordinary and a tribute to the music business that a group as ugly as that can do so well?
How do they do it? Really?
What a bag of spanners.
Absolutely. They're gorgeous, aren't they?
Oh,
Beautiful.
please.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Please.
But anyway, let's talk a bit more about women, because even though we might be frightened of
Do you want to talk dirty now?
I know, no, I'm a man of your vast experience
yes.
now, 37 years.
Yes.
Of marriage.
Well used to the whims of women.
Oh.
You know, there's one thing you'll never hear a woman say.
What's that?
Does my bum look small in this? And there's one thing you'll never hear a man say.
What's that?
I'm lost. Let's ask directions.
But
There is a difference.
but are there big differences between men and women? I mean, are they what we celebrate? Is that what attracts us to women, the differences?
I think the difference can be easily distinguished. You're a keen golfer, I am as well. Both our wives play golf. The difference between men and women can be seen at its best or worst on the golf course. When you and I play golf, you know, if you leave a putt there, I say, Michael, knock it away. That's a given.
Absolutely sporting toff you are.
If I'm playing with your Mary and I put up to her there, she'll say, I've seen those missed. And they have no Corinthian spirit.
None at all.
You and I are infused with the spirit of C.B. Fry.
We are.
You and I could run out to play the Arsenal without any training at all in baggy shorts, having just smoked a cigarette.
Absolutely.
And it always strikes me as extraordinary. You know, you get people patronising people like myself and Michael,
No.
who've been married since God was a boy.
Yes.
Really ancient. And when we go to a restaurant, we sit with our wives and we don't say anything. And people look and say, oh, you can tell they're married a long time, they're not talking.
Do you look unhappy, though? Do you look miserable?
Yeah. Well, no, but you know what I mean? We've said all that we're going to say. We're happy in each other's company. I'd hate to go back to being your age where you have to yammer like an Egypt over the soup. People are entertained. Oh, Martine, are you feeling all right? Are you okay? And all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Doesn't it get on your nerves that you don't have a mature man who'll just sit there?
Nothing to me.
What about, let's talk now a bit about the, what else you're doing. You've got coming up, of course, the Eurovision Song Contest. It looms there. Estonia, isn't it, this year?
It's Tallinn this year, yes. It is the challenge
I
of
love
Tallinn.
Eurovision.
Yes.
It is, so do I.
I love it.
I
Absolutely love
adore
it.
I mean, we love it because you take the mickey out of it. That's why we love it. I mean, they're crap songs and an awful show.
What can you say?
I mean, the Continentals think it's a different show, don't they? They can't understand why we laugh.
The Continentals think that it's a triumph of fine music.
I know.
As I think I said to you before, whenever I go there, I'm immediately attacked by commentators from all the other nations who say things like, if you don't like the Eurovision Song Contest, why do you do it? And I say, because I love it. But I just love it in a different way than you do. I know it's an absolute farce. And everybody in this country knows it's a farce. You know. When I did that voice, I was reminded there of an ad I saw on the television. Have you seen it? You know that ad where a sort of woman in her 40s says, Mum, I've got a headache. And then we got down to Mum, and she's an extremely plain woman, and she's looking out the French windows at a middle-aged fella in his underpants exercising. Like that. So, the next shot we see, Mum has taken off all her clothes except a terrible vest and an extremely sensible pair of double-gusset knickers. And she's lasciviously looking at the fella. And then the girl comes down and said, Mum! And you think, is it me? What's it about? Yeah. It's an ad for headache tablets.
Oh. That's lovely. I mean, all this is on your programme, the Radio 2 programme. I mean, the audience invests you with all this wonderful, whimsical stuff.
Absolutely.
You've cracked it, actually, haven't you? I mean, you've got them to write the script for you.
That's right. The wonderful thing is I come in the morning and I'm smiling because I'm straight into the 500 or 600 emails that we get.
That's
every
amazing,
morning.
600.
It is extraordinary. They sent me an Irish joke. A fella goes into a pub and he says, excuse me, he says, can you tell me the quickest way to Dublin? And the barman says, are you driving or are you walking? He said, I'm driving. He said, well, that's the quickest. But it's a kind of... what I love is the way they take things laterally.
Yes.
And then, of course, they form themselves into groups and they have their own conventions, the togs, and they go off to St. Andrews or Yarmouth and places
They
like
dress up too, don't they?
They do. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing at
Bit
all.
of dressing up. Yes, we got our own T-shirts. Yeah, they say, do I come here often, written across them. That's a Togs chat-up line.
But what about the thoughts of perhaps putting the feet up and a bit of fly fishing and...
Yeah, I keep thinking that I'd like... Probably you're the same yourself. I keep thinking that I would like a less restrictive life. I get up at 5:30 every morning.
Yeah.
I've been doing it since the Peloponnesian War. And I come into London, do the programme, and I finish at 9:30 and go home and lie down. And it's not a proper job. I've never pretended it is. And people think I'm joking when I say that I haven't done a day's work for 40 years, but it's true. And so I go in there, but it is restrictive, much as I love doing it.
Yes.
And I think from the point of view of people like myself, you want to get off the beach before the tide comes in. You know what I mean? Much as you love doing something, and much as you're thrilled that it's successful, and the same thing with you with this show, there must come a point where you want to leave while you're still ahead.
I think it's probably the biggest trick of all to do that.
Yeah, if you can do it.
You can do it.
If your ego will let you. Yeah.
Exactly right. Terry Wogan, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Terry
Bye.
Wogan. Well done. Now, my final guest tonight has been voted the sexiest woman in the world. She's a movie star and a pop idol. In a moment, we'll talk. But first, sing her hit single, #1 in 10 countries, Love Don't Cost a Thing. Welcome, please, Jennifer Lopez.
Thought you'd understand. Baby, credit cards are in romance. So you're trying to buy what's already yours. What I need from you is not available in stores. See the side of you that I really feel. Doing way too much, never keep it real. If it doesn't change, gotta hit the road. Now I'm leaving with my keys, I've got to go. Give me all the things I need that money can't buy, yeah. Think you gotta keep me as you don't. Think I'm gonna spend your cash out on baby. If you were broke, my love don't cost a thing. Think I wanna try your Benz, I don't. If I wanna floss, I
was wonderful and energetic.
Oh, thank you.
You work hard at your business.
I do?
You do. So you're recently married.
Yes.
And to a man, in fact, that song's got a special resonance in your life because you met your husband when he did the video. He was a dancer, wasn't he?
Yeah, actually, I met him when we came here. I came to Europe last year to do the MTV Awards, and he was one of the dancers on that.
So you're in the first flush of married bliss. Eh?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, two questions to ask you. One is, what has he got that we haven't got, me and Terry?
Well, I heard you were taken, you guys.
Well, it could be
Right.
arranged. We could make an accommodation.
No, but he's wonderful, you know.
And the other question is from my wife. What's it like being locked in the boot of a car with George Clooney?
It was it was nice. It was a long day. We were there for hours and hours and hours. It was crazy. But it was nice. Tell your wife it was nice.
It's all right. I'll do that. Okay. So let's now talk about yourself. Born in the Bronx, you've got a very a story similar to actually Martine because she's a working class background in the Bronx there too.
Absolutely.
Was it tough?
You know, it was all I knew, so I didn't, you know, I didn't think of it as tough. You know, that was where I was born. It was where I grew up. It was people I knew. It was a very neighborhood kind of environment. You know, lots of kids in the street and everything like that. So it didn't, you know, strike me as tough. I mean, to break into this business, I think everybody thought I was crazy. You know, when I first said, yeah, I want to go and dance and sing and be an actress. Nobody from my neighborhood did anything like that.
Yes.
You know.
What drove your ambition? What was it? Was it in the family?
No, it wasn't in the family. I mean, my sister sings very well, and so does my dad. But it wasn't like anybody was in the business. It was just something, since I was very, very small, something that was inside of me that I just wanted to do.
And who were the heroes and the people that you're looking to when you're growing up?
You know, my favorite movie was West Side Story.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I just loved that movie, and I could identify because they were Puerto Rican, so I guess something about that made it special for me too. And Rita Moreno, who played Anita, you know, she was very inspirational to me because I knew that she was like one of the few. She's the only woman I think up until now who's won like a Tony, a Grammy, an Emmy, an Oscar. Yeah. You know what I mean? She was very inspirational also. Same kind of background as myself.
So what was the step you took then? You had dancing lessons and singing lessons, and then went after that. As you're growing up, what do? You go and work in clubs or?
No, you know, from when I was very small, I was into it, and my mom, I guess, was a bit of a frustrated actress and singer-dancer herself, you know. So she took us to dance classes and all kind of stuff. But then when I graduated high school, and while I was still in high school, I started taking dancing and singing, and was always in the school plays and stuff like that. But from there, professionally, I just started working in like very low-budget videos. You know, like music videos, like rap videos. And stuff. Like for $25. I saw like it was very quiet. I had to clarify. Okay.
The question was forming there.
I was up for one of those once, but I failed the audition.
You did? A low-budget video.
The pay was terrible. It was like $25 for like 2 days. It was terrible. But it was a way to get in.
But let me ask you the same question that I asked Martine, because the two of you had very early ambitions to be a star. And now what I asked her is, what I'll ask you is it now as you imagined it would be, being successful?
I didn't think of it more. I think when you're young, and Martine may have the same kind of sentiments, when you're young and you just want to sing, you just want to act, you just want to dance, and then like the celebrity is something that comes along with that, and the demands, you don't think of those you don't think of the negatives, you know, when you start out. You just think you have this dream of doing, you know, what you love to do, what's inside of you, and then...
And when you want to do it, when you're tired, you don't have to do it.
Yes.
When you're a kid, you know.
Yes. You have to do it no matter what, you know, so it can be kind of demanding, but I guess just like Martine, I'm not complaining. You know?
No,
I love it,
well,
I love what I do.
But I mean, but it seems to me that as women, attractive women, that you get actually there's a bigger burden put upon you than, say, a man. I mean, you get stuck with all kinds of labels. I mean, the sexiest woman in the world.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, but I mean, but what...
You ask my sisters, they think it's funny. My mom, they're like, okay, yeah, okay, Jen. But it is funny, it's funny.
And Rear of the Year.
Where did I get that? Here?
You've got it many times, and also the story that your backside was insured for $1 million.
That's crazy. But I will say one thing. You said no woman would ever ask if her bum looked too small in something.
Yeah.
I've asked that. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yes.
I'm going to kill myself.
Because I don't you know, I come from a culture where like the women are very curvy, and I grew up with that. So to me, that's such a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? My mom, my grandma were like, you know what I mean? They were all like that. So to me, that was.
But I mean, what age were you when you began to be curvy? I mean, when did your curves arrive?
It's hard to pinpoint, but you know, it was.
Puberty.
Yeah.
No, you're a late developer yourself. I'm just asking this is a serious question, a physiological question.
Yeah. I would say, I don't know. I guess I don't remember. I don't ever remember not having it.
I see. But I mean, what about when you first realised you were attractive to boys? And here you are in the Bronx, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's not a neighbourhood where there's some gentlemanly manners, I would imagine. I would imagine that there was a fairly direct relationship between boys and girls there.
Well,
You've been trying to talk dirty all evening.
in what way? No, do you mean where it was like more like street, urban kind of neighborhood? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, and then
where the guys were like kind of tough, gangy, like.
And also the reaction to beautiful women as well, girls like you. I mean.
Yeah, there was, you know, it was. I can tell you this: there was a time when I was younger where it was more uncomfortable, and then when I got older, you know, I kind of owned it. You know what I mean? Became more confident with who I was and very secure, so it didn't bother me. But there was a vocal type of appreciation as you walk down the street sometimes when you were younger. It was uncomfortable.
You're a jolly, lovely girl. Did they say things like that?
Not quite phrased in that way, you know, because it was America.
Those were the sentiments.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk about this career of yours. So there you are, then in this film, and then it all sort of starts happening to you, and all the celebrity as well. What about that episode in your life with the rapper Puff Daddy?
Yes.
Where you were arrested and
oh God.
Yeah, I mean, they made the headlines here.
Yes.
It's all part of this thing of celebrity, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that was a really, you know, ugly situation. We were kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know. But I don't know. What do you want to know about it?
No, I just wonder what the circumstances were like being arrested. I mean, you must have been very frightened.
It was terrible. Oh God, it was horrible. You know, I had never been arrested. I don't plan to ever be again. So it was crazy. I mean, it was just.
Were you frightened?
Very, you know. But I tried to stay calm, you know, because I knew I hadn't done anything and there was nothing to be afraid of.
And what about your parents? They must have been.
You know, it's horrible because, you know, it's like it was in the middle of the night, so it's 6 o'clock in the morning when my parents are getting ready to get up or whatever. You know, my father turns on the TV and it's like, you know, Jennifer Lopez and Sean Puffy Combs, you know, club shooting. That's it, you know, so he didn't know if I had been shot or whatever. And so I just tried to call them as soon as I could and let them know everything was okay and that I was all right. And I didn't do anything.
and what about all the other stuff that surrounds you as well? The thing about being a diva.
Yeah.
You know, about going into a place and ordering. Well, it was said, let's talk about the arrest first of all. I mean, there was a marvelous story which said that when you're arrested by the police that you insisted on having a nail file and some cuticle cream.
That's so crazy.
I know.
Oh God, no, that was not true. And as far as all the other, well, what do you want to know about the diva thing?
No, there's all the story that builds up around you know, about wherever you go, that there's 60 people in the entourage and that you demand certain things, you know, sheets of a certain caliber and muslin and white furniture and all that sort of thing. Well,
you know, it's okay if you do, but it's different when you don't and they say, you know what I mean? It get kind of bothersome in a way.
But I mean, is this part of the image that's built up around you, or is it invented?
So.
Or
I think it's because of, I don't know, because I like a bit of the glamour and I like, you know, to dress a certain way and, you know, so people want to attach something to that, you know? No, I work very hard. I have a lot of people who work with me. I couldn't do this all by myself. I just couldn't, you know? And I appreciate all the help that I pay for.
How difficult?
I like that one.
How difficult is it though to have normal relationships, if you like, to build up normal relationships in the situation that you're in?
You mean like with my husband? That
Exactly,
kind of thing?
precisely.
You know, it all depends on the person. It's very easy to have a normal relationship if the two of you are in sync. You know, it's when it's not really the right person. I think that it's harder because when there's real love there, I think there's always that compromise. You know, like, okay, this is what your life is, and I understand that, and my life is a little different, but we're gonna work it out. Want to be together, you know. But it's a weird thing. I remember being at like our first premiere where he went with me, like, and I remember the first time I went to a premiere and there's like cameras going off and the people are yelling, Jabber, look over here. You know, you've been there. It was crazy. So I looked over to him and I'm like, are you okay? Because they're screaming his name. He's like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
He's like, yeah, I'm fine. But I think that's one of the wonderful things about our relationship and him is that, you know, he takes everything in stride. And I think for a person like myself who's in the public eye to be in a relationship, you need somebody like that.
And also it helps too, of course, that he's involved with you in the business
Yes,
as well. I mean, that's,
yes.
so therefore you are together in a natural course
Yes,
of events,
yeah.
rather than being sort of
We
separated
don't mind
by
being-
celebrity and
Right.
that sort of thing.
Right, he's a choreographer and a dancer.
That's
and,
right. Yeah. So what I mean, what's the aims then in the future? What's happening with you? I mean, in terms of movies and things like that.
I have a movie coming out in May called Enough, which is kind of about an abused woman who goes on the run from her abusive husband. And it's a kind of a woman empowerment movie. It's kind of cool, you know, because she takes control of her life and basically says enough.
Are you in a situation now where you can very much pick and choose?
Yeah, I kind of. I don't feel like I have an overabundance of things to choose from. You know, I think I would like it if it was more like that, like the freedom to choose whatever. But I'm offered things, and then I develop things through my own production company that I want to work on.
And again, is it speculation and press talk that you'll get $7.5 million a movie? Is that right?
Yeah, that's not true.
Let's get more.
Yes.
And the other thing that fascinates me too is about being this person from where you came from to where you are now. Is there a kind of responsibility upon you from the Latino community because of you've made it?
Yeah.
And was it tougher in the first place because you were
Yeah,
of Puerto Rican parents?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, but I never looked at it that way, and I think that kind of, that ignorance was good on my part. I always looked at myself as more individual. I had something different to offer than other people, because it can kind of, you know, it's all about separating yourself and finding your own niche and stuff like that. And what was the second part of the question? That was the Latino. Oh, the responsibility of it.
To it, yes. I
Yeah.
mean, from the community, the wider community.
Yeah, I did, and I felt it really heavily at first. You know, I was like, oh my God, people expect this and this from me, and then I thought to myself, you know, I didn't want to put that pressure on myself. You know, so I said, you know what, if I keep doing just what I'm doing, I'm a good person, I'm a hard worker, all I want to do is entertain people and make them smile or dance once in a while, and I think if I keep on that path, I'll be okay.
But what was the problem? What was it that was more difficult being what you were? Was it because you represent a kind of stereotype to people who book it, to casting directors and things like that?
Yeah, I think they don't even look at anything. I think they just look at your last name and put you in a category immediately.
Oh, really?
You know, they don't see what you can do or what kind of versatility you have as an actor, you know, or whatever. Yeah. And I think that's at the beginning. And then through your work, you start proving you can do different things. And you'll walk into a room and convince somebody, I can do this part, watch. And then you do it, and then they take a chance with you.
Well,
and I've been lucky enough to have
Well,
those
you're in the driving seat, aren't you? I mean, now you can, in that enviable situation where you can actually look after your own career. How much is left of that young girl who came out of the Bronx?
100%. I mean, I'm just always freaking out at everything that I do every day. And, you know, I mean, it's Thanksgiving, you know, and we're here in Europe, traveling around with all my close friends that I work with, and we're going to have, you know, a great dinner or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's always amazing to me. We're in a nice hotel, you know, because I am just a simple girl from the Bronx, you know, who loves to sing and dance a little bit, you know.
Thank God that you actually flew over here, because one or two of your compatriots backed out of it.
Really?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I'm not. It takes a lot to scare me.
Good on you, yeah. So just a couple of last questions, actually. In all the trials and tribulations you've had in the businesses that you've had, have you ever sort of thought, God, I wish I'd been born a man?
No.
Definitely not.
Why not?
Good question.
There's nothing that I need. I can do everything I want to do as a woman.
But it's not great, is it?
What? Being a woman? What do you mean? You don't mind being sat between two, so...
No, it's not easy for me here.
What?
No, I wouldn't want to be a woman.
You wouldn't?
No.
Why not? Now tell me why not.
It's the underwear. You know.
The G-string
You know
thing.
yourself,
The
yeah.
G-string thing.
Oh, that must
You don't
that
have
must
to
It's
smart.
saying I know
That must
myself
smart
because
so
just
much.
before Jennifer came over, I went, oh
What?
no, my knickers are hanging
Yeah.
out.
Oh, really?
See, that's
So
really
I've
what
been
put
having
me
to
off.
tuck
Was
my
it?
top
Yeah.
in.
Up until that point, you were so 50-50.
I was okay, and then I saw a bit of the tongue, and I thought, no.
All right.
Not for me, I thought.
I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you so
Very
much.
much indeed. And any time that you are over in this country, look me up. And we've enjoyed your company. And I've
Thank
enjoyed
you.
all your company tonight, actually. I don't know why, but I have. But Jennifer Lopez, thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you.
Jennifer Lopez. My thanks to Jennifer Lopez, Terry Wogan, whom God preserve, Martine McCutcheon, and the Corrs. Next week, my guests are Cilla Black, Lisa Tarbuck, and Michael Crawford. Until then, from all of us here, a very good night. Good night.
From art student to rock legend Freddie Mercury, The Untold Story, next tonight on BBC One.
The best thing about my radio show is people listen to it wherever they